Well, hello there, friends. Today, an essential clarified butter. Very simple to make. Let's talk a little bit about butter. We love butter, especially me. I love butter. But have you noticed you can't really cook things in butter because it burns. It burns really fast because butter has milk. Milk has protein, and protein burns at 250 degrees. Really that simple. So what do we need to do to cook in butter? We just need to remove the milk. That's what we do when we clarify the butter. And how do we clarify butter? Really simple. By the way, this is clarified butter. We have clarified butter right here. Clarified butter is just simply, it looks like oil. It's just butter where the milk solid and the moisture has been removed. Water is actually what promotes the growth of bacteria. That's why butter goes bad. The minute you remove the moisture, the water, and the minute you remove the milk protein, you're done. Now you got a butter that is clarified and can stay at room temperature 6 months. Can stay in a refrigerator 1 year, not 17 years, 1 year at room temperature. And it's really cool. The problem is if you leave it at room temperature, it kind of have a tendency of solidify a little bit. So if you want it to be liquid, you just got to warm it up a little bit. And that's really that simple. Nothing's big deal of it. You can cook. That's 450 smoke point. Almost 500 degrees. Imagine that. You can cook anything you want in here. Nothing's going to burn. So now that I made a video on it, I'm going to use it all the time. So you guys can use it. It's really simple. Let's make it together. All we're doing is taking 2 pounds of butter, and we're going to bring it to boil. That's what we're going to do. As you are boiling the butter, it separates automatically. The moisture and the milk solids are going to rise to the top at the beginning, create some foamy thing. We're going to remove that. And then we're going to let them rest. We're going to put it in a glass bowl, and you're going to see it. Then the milk solid falls in the bottom. So we're going to scrape the top, get as much of the whey from the milk protein as we can, remove them, scoop them up with a ladle, and then we're going to wait for all of the milk solid to fall in the bottom, and then we're going to pour the butter fat, which will be like beautiful, nice, clear, clarified butter. You probably heard of ghee and say, well, clarified butter is ghee. Well, not really. Ghee is the same process, except we literally caramelize the milk protein, burn them, not burn them, but yeah, caramelize them to a dark, and they're easy to remove that way. What happens is that gives the butter more of a nutty flavor. It's used in a lot of Indian cooking, and it's wonderful. Ghee is absolutely wonderful, but it's more nutty. It's more smoky a little bit. Nutty. Let's stay with nutty. Yeah? That's good. Everybody understands nutty, and that's great too. And it's easy to make too. But today we're making clarified butter. Now, clarified butter is we're not going to burn the milk solid to the solid crisp. We're just going to remove them. And we're going to have this beautiful clarified butter. All right? We'll probably do another video later on making ghee so you can actually see it's a little bit of a different process. So we're going to bring this to boil, and then we'll come back in a few minutes. So we're going to bring it to boil. Here's probably a process that's going to take us, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours. So we're not going to make an hour and a half, 2 hours video. Don't worry. I could do it. And I'm sure some of you will be okay with that, but most of you will be like, this guy's a nut. And I got enough people telling me I'm a nut. So we're going to bring it to boil, and after it has finished boiling, we'll come back, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it, okay? So we'll just let that go. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, friends. Well, it's been boiling for about 10 to 15 minutes. The first boil is going to be a lot of foam on the front and on the top of it. And then it subsides a little bit. Make sure maybe once in a while you take a little spoon and mix it just a little bit. But that's all you really need to do. And now that it's come to boil, about 15 minutes, leave it alone, let it relax. And we're just going to pour it in a glass bowl. That's all we're going to do. We're going to just pour it in a glass bowl, just the whole thing. Don't worry about a thing. The process of clarifying it happens in a little while. What is going to happen automatically, most of the moisture has escaped in the process of boiling it. That's where the water comes out. That's the dangerous element in the butter. That's what promotes the growth of bacteria. So as you're boiling it, you're getting rid of most of it. And what's going to happen is most of the milk solid is going to fall in the bottom as it cools. And the whey protein of the milk, some of it is going to stay on the top, and we're going to clean it up with a ladle. We're going to clean it up, and then we will deal with the butter fat, which is 80%, 85% of it is butter fat. That's clarified butter. Then we have right here. and the milk solid are going to stay in the bottom, and we're not going to use those. Okay, so we're going to come back in a little while. This has to process. This has to go through its natural process. It's going to take at least an hour for this to happen. So we'll come back in about an hour. All right, folks, so about an hour and a half, 2 hours really went by, and here's what we have. We have a little bit of moisture still left on the top with the whey of the milk, and most of the milk solid are falling in the bottom. You probably can't see that much of it until I start pouring it in, but all of the milk solid went in the bottom. So now we have this beautiful butter fat here that needs to be clarified. So we're going to remove the weight first of the moisture that is left on the top. And by the way, I wanted to show you, this is what it looks like if you leave it at room temperature. If you just leave it at room temperature, it goes like that. If you put it in the fridge, it's even more solidified, but it lasts longer. So it's not a problem. It's just, if you want it to be liquid, you just warm it up a little bit, and then it'll be liquid again. But if you leave it at room temperature, it just solidifies like that. That's just the product. There's nothing we can do about that. All right? So now what we're going to do, friends, we're going to remove as much of the moisture as we can as possible, or the weight right there. And you see, it's very simple to do. Just go easy. Just go really easy. We want to try to remove all moisture, because remember, a drop of water will promote the growth of bacteria. So we want to make sure we remove all moisture. And make it, the milk solid will burn, so we want to remove them. All right? So now at this point, I have a cheesecloth on top of a strainer. You don't really have to have that. You could. Some people say you can try a coffee filter. The coffee filter don't work so good. So this is just regular cheesecloth. And you don't have to have this. If you're careful, look, you're going to see what I do, okay? If you're careful, when you pour, see, we're going to pour that in. Going to pour that in, and we'll do it very slowly. I want to do it very slowly because I want you to see what would happen, what's going to happen when I go in the bottom of it. You're going to see. There is not much milk solid to begin with in this butter. It's wonderful. But you'll see it in a minute. So right here we have some beautiful clarified butter. It's got to look like oil. Huh? It doesn't smell like oil, let me tell you. It smells delicious. I'm going to go in there, and if you look, I'm going to go very careful because I don't want to pour the bottom right there. The bottom, if you can see in here, I tell you what I'll do in a second. I'll stop it pouring. See, it's starting to be right there. So most of that is going to be cut with a cheesecloth, but I'm going to stop it right now so you can see it. I want you to see inside the pot, friends. This is, when you bring the butter to boil, some of those milk solid have caramelized right there, you see? Some of them have caramelized already. So you can just go slowly again, but here you'll pour some of the milk solid. So you just let it go like this, folks, you see? Let's let it go right there. Most of the milk solid would be caught on the cheesecloth. If you don't have a cheesecloth, you can get a nice kitchen towel. And right there, my friends, you have clarified butter. This is it. So you see, this solidified, and this is clarified butter. Then now we can cook steaks, fish, meat, anything. Nothing's going to burn because it'll go up to 450 degrees without any problem, and it smells delicious. I didn't use this in some of my first videos because I didn't want to scare people, but now you guys have been watching my channel for some of you over a year now, and you know you can do it. You've done a lot of my recipes, and you can do this, so we're going to continue using it now. Then you guys have graduated from level 2. We're going to go to level 3, and we're going to keep pushing the bar and keep having some fantastic recipe. Go ahead, make yourself a good amount of clarified butter, and you can cook anything. But remember though, you still want to use whole butter to cook a lot of things. leeks and onion and all that. You caramelize them, and if the milk protein caramelizes a little bit with the onion, it makes them that much better. So don't worry about that. And when you finish the sauce, when you finish anything, you want to use whole butter. You don't want to use clarified butter. You want to because the whole butter will be more creamy, and it gives you a better consistency and a sexy sauce. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed this quick segment we made for you. Clarified butter, you go ahead and make. I hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring the bell. Ring the thumbs up. Ring the bell so you get a notification every Thursday when I do a new video. Go ahead and make a beautiful bowl of clarified butter.